Okay. Just like you stored data in the view data, now you can store it in the temp data now. How? Temp data of ID is equals to ID. Temp data of name is equals to name. Temp data of price is equals to price. Okay. Then we say return view. Now a request comes to the server, and now the view will be sent as a response now. The view will be sent as a response. This is one request. This is only one request. And see, I'll show you what is multiple request means. A request comes to one view, and this is going to the request comes to an action method, and this action method is transferring the control to another action method. Understand what I'm telling you? This is a request coming to one action method here, and this action method transferring the control to another action method. Means what? The return type of this method is not a view now. The return type of a method is not a view now. What is it? Redirect to route result. What is that? Redirect to route result. Just like a view result. Array, do you remember? Action result has so many child classes SIDO, we can use them. We are using a new option now. What is that? Redirect to route result. And now redirect to action. I'm redirecting to a different action method now. What is the action method? Index 3. Sorry, index 4. Guys, observe what is happening. You're launching index 3. Index 3 will transfer the control to index 4. Okay, now I am writing the method. Which method? Index 4. Public view result index 4. Index 4. Okay, now in index 4, what I'm doing is return view. Means you understand. First, the control hits the index 3. Index 3 will send a response to index 4 will launch the view now. Are you clear? Means there is no view for index 3. The view is created for index 4. So right click, add view. Table border is equals to 1. Align is equals to center. Caption. Product details. TR. Next. TD. ID. TempData of ID. Okay. Copy. Name. Price. Coming to the price, I want to do my calculation, like a 10% calculation, what we done in the previous example. Remember? So how did we write? We opened a block. Double price is equals to convert dot to double temp data of price. Now price is equals to price plus price into 0.1 at the rate price. Okay, now guys, The view is created for which view? Remember that one. But what is the action method we are going to call? Index 4 view doesn't have an action associate. What we are going to call, we are going to call 3, and 3 will transfer the control to 4. Come on, add a breakpoint. Add a breakpoint here. Run. How to call? /home /index 4 / pass your product details now. Sorry, index 3, pass your product details 101 shoe and 3500. Is how you pass it now. Come on, open the browser. Entering. So observe everyone, we are calling which method? Index 3. When I hit enter, first you go and hit index 3, see? Now the data is being stored in the TempData. Now when I say redirect to action, noticed it? Index 4 is launched. Index 4 is launched. These are two separate requests. What is that? Actually, when you say redirect to action, when you say return redirect to action, a result is sent to browser now. A result is sent to browser. What is the result? Redirection result. Redirection result. You need to understand a concept here called as HTTP status codes. HTTP status codes. HTTP status codes. When you talk about this HTTP status codes, what exactly are these status codes? Is just open here, you'll find a Wikipedia link for this. A Wikipedia link for this. This is a list of HTTP response status code. Status code were issued by a server in response to a client request made to the server. We are issued by whom? Server in response to a client's request made to the server. Okay, so actually we have different type of status codes here. Just watch it. If the status code starts with 1 XX series, 100, 101, 102 something, we call them as information response. The request to the received continuing process. There's some information, that's all. 2XX means success. 3XX means redirection. 4XX means client error. 5XX means server error. Means what is client error? You sent a wrong request for a wrong page now. 404 is not found. See, coming under which series? 4XX series. You got 500 series means server error, means nothing but exception. Exception, that is a exception. Okay, right now look at 3XX series. What is 3XX series? Redirect 2XX. Whenever a request is successfully processed, you will get a response called 200. 200 means success. Okay, we call it as okay. And if at all you get 300 series responses, that is called as a redirection. Okay, you scroll down, you'll get the information of all the things. You go through this article. See, these are all 1XX series. They're all 2XX. Success is okay. Same we have 3XX series. So like this, we'll have different response codes available here. Different response codes available. 400 series, 500 series. So mainly we know this already. The very frequent thing what we come across every time. 404. So now what happens is, in this scenario, when I make a request to 3, server will send a response code to the browser. What is the response code? 302 redirection response code. 302 redirection response code. What is the meaning of it? The server is telling to the browser. The server is telling to the browser, go and make a call to index 4. Go and make a call to index 4. Again, the server is sending a new request to the server. Sorry, the browser is sending a new request to the server for which page? And index 4 launches a view. But see, in index 3, you store the data in TempData and the data is accessible in index 4. If you want to see this, do this one. What? In your browser, you know F12, in the browser you have an option called F12, developer tools. You call it as developer tools. Use that F12 option. F12. When you use the F12 option, it opens you the developer tools window here. It is top bottom. Yeah. You find a developer tools option. You can place in different locations. You'll be having a dock option here. If you click on this, where you want to put it. This is you want to put in the left side or bottom or right side something. I just put it in the bottom. Watch. When you open this, here you'll be having an option called network. You'll be having an option called as network. And the network, it will show you all the information. Just a minute. Open that and now launch your page. Which page? 3. Now call the page now. Which page? 3. See the browser? Which page I'm calling? And hit enter. Keep this open and just hit the enter key. And when you look at this here, it will show you there are 2 requests. The first request came to this page. Check it out. The first request came to that page now. And that has sent a status response. What is it? 302, 302. It's a redirection. It's a redirection. Now again, a fresh request went to index 4. But for index 4, there is no route data. See? Index 3 has a route data. Check it out. Index 3 has the route data, but index 4 doesn't have any route data. In index 3, all this route information is stored in the TempData. So now it is accessible for you in the index 4. It is accessible for you in the 200 means success. That's the status code. Success page, okay. You got this output now. So what I'm trying to show you is these 2 are 2 separate requests you're sending to the page. How to remove this? Hide data URLs, hide extensions, invert. Yeah. You can just see that the number of requests that are available. So where you require to go? Network tab. Understood? Keep it open, go to network tab and send the request now. When you send the request to the bottom, you will see the response output. Is it clear, all of you? And guys, now also my TempData is accessible, but watch it. In the place of TempData, now I'm using view data. Here I'm using view data, view back, both are same only, na? Okay. Now let me come to the page, and here also let me change. Here, view data, and here view back. Okay. So what I changed? I changed them to view data, view back now. Okay. Now again, run again. Keep the network tab open. Sorry, F12. The network tab. Come on, let's send the request. Which method? 3. Now also we can see 2 requests, but the point is check. ID and name are not accessible. Earlier accessible now, but now not accessible. Price is accessible. Why? The scope of view data and view bag is within the request. The scope of view bag is between multiple requests. It is accessible between multiple requests of a page. Am I clear, everyone? Once I stored this in the view temp data, once I stored this in the temp data, I can access this in multiple requests of the page now. Are you clear? Once I store in the temp data, I can access it in the multiple requests of the page. In multiple requests of the page, I can use the temp data. So that's how we just use the temp data in our applications. Is it clear about temp data? Okay. So have a look. Temp data. Array, view data is also property under controller base. That is view data dictionary. This is temp data dictionary. Key value and name value combination. iDictionary. iDictionary is a interface basically. Next. Another action method which are present in the same controller are, yeah, you can transport the data from one to another controller also. I'll show you that also. First, observe this one. First one, return type. You're passing the values and you're storing all the values and you're calling redirect to action index 4. Second method. For index 4, I did not pass any data. You noticed it? I did not pass any data to index 4. Okay. With a set of, I can say route values, that will be more clear. A set of route values, and that method stores those values in view data, view back, temp data. One in view data, one in view back, and one in temp data, respectively. And then not view result, redirect to route result. Write the below coordinates, div tag. Write this code in the div tag. Okay, something. Yeah, view data, view back, temp data. Execute. Call your index reaction method. Okay. And now see, when the request is sent to index 3 action method, it will redirect to index 4 action method by calling 302 to the browser. So that browser will watch that in the browser's address bar, which will be now showing you this one. What you call is 3, and now what you see is 4. If you watch the output in the browser, it will display. It will not display. It will not display the values of ID name, but will display the value of price, because view data, view back cannot maintain the state of values between multiple requests, but temp data can maintain. Temp data can maintain, view data cannot maintain, view data cannot maintain, view back. Both these two cannot maintain, but temp data can maintain the values. That's why you're able to access the temp data. Are you clearer or not? Okay, so the values cannot be maintained. So what you'll do now, if you want to resolve the above problem, go to index 3 action method and change view data and view back to temp data. First I started with that only, and afterwards I changed it. If you want to change it, change it. Okay, and see, when you're doing a redirection, how browser gets the data? Browser is now, you're going to server again. You're going to server again when you call the method. Which method? Index 4. You're going to server. So server stores the data now, and the data is given to browser. See, basically what happens is, when the first request went to the server, when the first request went for index 3 now, what happened on the server? The data is stored on the temp data now. The data is stored on the temp data, and the response is sent to browser. Where is the data? The data is on the server. Yeah, it is stored on the server now. Where? Inside a temp data. When the next request is coming now, temp data is using the values. Are you clearer or not? You joined in a company, you went to the office, and the office, you carried every day to drink a coffee in the office. You carried a cup. The first day, you carried a cup to the office and put on the table. Tomorrow, a cup will be there only, na? Yes or not? The same thing only. So every day you don't require to carry through and through. You just leave it. Next day you go to the office, your cup will be on your table. So exactly this is also the same. In the first request, the values are stored in the temp data. Second request can access the data now. Are you clearer or not? Okay, but view data will not be maintained. When the request changes, automatically view data will lose the data. Means when the response goes to browser, view data will lose the data. But temp data will not lose the data, guys. Are you clear? So view data will lose the data, but temp data will not lose the data. In the second request, the temp data can be accessed, but you cannot access in the view data. Is that clear? You not only is one here, you can transfer from one control to another controller also now. Right now, I shown you redirecting from one action method to another action method within the controller now. Same way we can transfer to one controller to another controller also. Watch, guys. Let me copy this. Which one? Index 3. Let me name it as 5. Okay, now? Now, I want to redirect this to a method called index 1 that is present in a controller called as test. It's an overload method. If you pass only action method name, it will transfer to the action method within the controller. If you pass an action method name and controller name, it is going to transfer the control to the action method of the specified controller now. It's an overload. See there, what did you pass? First parameter. Earlier we used only action name. If you don't have the controller name and action name, it is search in the current controller, same controller. Now you're telling, not this controller, separate controller. So what to do now? Add a new controller now called as test with a method called index 4. Shall we try this? Come on. Look, let me go to controllers. I'll add a new controller. What is the name? Test. Public view result index 1. I don't need any inputs for this. Directly return view. Okay, now right click, add view. Write the code for launching the view now. Again, table border equals to 1, align equals to center, width equal to 20%, caption, product details, TR, TD, ID, TD, @ TempData of ID. Second one, name, price, double price is equals to convert dot to double of temp data of price. Next, price is equals to price plus price into 0.1 @ price. And I said you what? This works like a print statement. It's a print basically. Okay now? And remember a print statement, no need a semicolon also for this. These statements have a semicolon. This statement doesn't have a semicolon. You're just printing it. Don't put a semicolon. If you around one come, you'll see semicolon also on the monitor now. Understood? If you put a semicolon, you'll see semicolon also on the monitor now. That's it. Don't put a semicolon. This is like a print statement. That's all. Okay, fine. And now, guys, here I want to do one more thing below the table. I'm using a center tag. I want to place a hyperlink here. I want to place a hyperlink. A href is equals to, I'll tell you what is the href. Href is equals to, and see, here I'm writing click to launch new page. When I click on this, it is going to launch a new page. What is the new page? The new page is /test/ Are you clearer or not? When I click on this, which page is going to launch? Test controller. First, remember that test controller. We need to write that action method. If you don't write, 404 error will come now. Right? We will write it. Wait. First, let us go to home controller. Let's go to the home controller. Which method to run? /home/index5. All of you concentrate on the URLs. I'm telling you all, when you're practicing also, look at the URLs carefully first. What is the URL now? Home index5. You're sending a request to home controller index5, right? When I hit my enter key, see the output. See the URL first. Got it? Test controller index1 and all the data. Oh, we did not change data. Copy pasted now. Sorry guys, when we copy pasted, we forgot to change them values. I'm sorry. Let's rerun. In view, we changed the thing. In view, we typed now, so it is correct on. Which method? 5. Once again, you can watch everyone. I'm launching the 5. Hit enter. Navigated. Where to where? One controller to another controller now. You got all the values. You got all the values. Now there is a link there. When I click on the link, what it has to launch? test controller only, display one. But right now the page is not there. So what are 404? Not found. 404 guys. What is that? Resource cannot be found. Why? You did not write this action method yet. Shall we write it? Let us go to test controller. Public. View result. Not index 2 guys. What is it? Display 1. What I'm writing here? Return view. Now in this view also, I want to show the TempData now. Did you understand my point or not? We shown in index 1. From index 1, we are going to index 2. Sorry, display 1. In display 1 also, I want to show the data. Understood? So can I add a view? Add view. And writing the code here. What code? What did you write in index 1? That code only now? Copy this. We're wasting time always. Copy the table code, guys. Paste in display. Do you understand the flow? Where will you start from? From there you'll go to test controller index 1. From here you'll go to test controller display 1. You're trying now you're going to be 3 requests now. Okay now? Come on. Let us start with starting with home controller index 5. Hit enter. Okay now? Values came. Now this is going to launch you display 1. But data did not come. Data did not come. Sir, you said it will be available in multiple requests. Now also I'm telling you it is available in multiple requests. That's why you're able to access in test 1. Sorry, index 1. But problem is with the TempData is once you access the data from TempData, values are deleted. Did you get my point or not? Without accessing, go to any number of pages. But once you access, data is deleted. Data is deleted. Why you got 0 there? Because you declared a double price there, na? Default value of a double is 0, yeah. That's why you got double 0 there. Understood my point or not? So do you understand the drawback of TempData? TempData values are accessible in multiple requests. But the problem is once accessed, cannot be used again. Once accessed will be deleted. Once accessed will be deleted. Sir, is it do I have any option to retain the values? Don't have an option to retain the values. You can retain, but the original behavior is once accessed will be deleted. Is it clear, all of you? What I said here? Once accessed will be deleted. Once you access the values, immediately the values will be deleted off. Okay, now, so how to resolve this problem now? How to resolve the problem? Okay, guys, if at all you want to resolve the problem, what you should do is, while accessing the data, how are you accessing the data? TempData of ID, TempData of name, like this now. Without that, there is an option. There is a method called as peek. TempData.peek of ID. If you call like this, the values are not deleted. Did you catch my point? If you access the values by calling a method, what method? Peek. If you call this method called peek, the values are not deleted. Where I'm writing this code here, index 1, I'm writing the code. So index 1 will not delete the values. So index 2 can access the values now. Sorry, display 1 can access the values now. So let me change in all the 3. Okay, we'll do one thing here. I'm not changing for name. I'm not changing for name, but I'm changing for price. So just want to show you the difference, that's all. I did not change the name now. So name is not maintained now, but ideal price will be maintained. Correct or not? Launch again. Which one? 5. I'm calling 5. What came? Test index 1 came. Click. Check yourself. Name is missing. Why? In index 1 for name, you did not call pick. Are you getting me? No, tell me, display one, you're again accessing the values or not? Are here also did not call pick now. Suppose if I go to another page, these values will not be maintained. How to test? Refresh here enough. Array, refresh. Second request now. When you refresh, it is a new request now. When you a new request, automatically old values are deleted off. It's a clear proof to you. Are you getting me? Let me fix it. Let me go to index 1 and here also I'll change the code for you as dot p. Now tell me, are the values deleted in index 1? No. But values are deleted in display 1. Why display 1 is not calling peak? See? Understood? Index 1 doesn't delete the value. Who will delete? Display 1 will delete the value. Check again. Come to start from index 5. Start from index 5. Goes to test index 1. Click. You got it here? Earlier you did not get here. But suppose from here you go to another page now. The values are lost. How to test? Refresh. Yeah, the second request only na. Refresh. Data lost. Are you clear? If I want to maintain here also should go and call what? Peak. So tomorrow, if you have 30, 40 values, should I call peak for these many number of times now? You need to. You need to. And otherwise, there is a simple option. There is a simple, straightforward option. What is that? Without calling peak for these many number of times, you have another method called as keep. Just a reverse here. Peak, keep. The characters are just a reverse. That's all. What is the method? Keep. Keep is the method. So to call watch. TempData dot keep. Call this method. If you guys call this method, it will maintain all the values. No need to call 3 times now. It's only 1 time. I said TempData dot keep. Simple English here. Keep the data. Keep the data. So this data will be maintained for you in the multiple requests. So when to call peak, when to call keep. You want to retain all the values, call keep. I want to retain particular values, then call peak. Understood? I don't want all the values, sir. I want to retain only price now. Peak. No. I want all the values. Peak. Understood, everyone? This is how we can fix it. Okay, come on, run. Observe. Home index 5 is what I'm calling. What launched? Test index 1. Click what launched? Test display 1. Earlier when we refresh, we lost the data now. Shall I refresh now? The data is not lost. I'm refreshing the page, but still my data is not lost. Reason? I called keep. Understood or not? Are you clearer? Okay, so this is what TempData is all about. So just it's a temporary way of maintaining the data. If you don't call peak or keep, temporary. If you don't call peak or keep, it is a temporary. One request only. Next request, you cannot access the data anymore now. Once access cannot be accessed anymore. Okay. Yeah, guys. Read this. From another controller. Read. Index 5. Index 1 test. In the above code and redirect to action helper method, test is the controller's name and index 1 is the action method name. where it must be redirected. Redirect to action helper method is an overloaded method that is predefined as following. Two overloads are there. Not only two, multiple still are there. We'll talk at the time comes. Right now, first one, where it goes. Action method in the same controller. Second one, action method in the specified controller. Action method in the specified controller. Okay, now add a new controller name test controller. Change the default action method name index to already one method is there here, index. Change to index one and add a view and write the code. Add a view and write this code. Execute index 5. You execute index 5. What launches? Index test index 1. And see, I given you clearly flow of control also. Is it clear? Redirects to index 1 action method of test controller. Are you clear? Yeah. If you call, that only I shown you now. I call once. That they only is accessible. Next time it is not accessible. Peak one time only it will work. Understood? You call peak now. You go to second page, access it, delete it there. But if you call keep, there also that page only. When you go to another page again, you should call keep now. I call keep on index 1. On display 1, I did not call keep or click. Data deleted. Keep doesn't mean that we keep on all the pages. Only that page only. Only for that page. The only difference between peak and keep is for all values. Peak is for single value. Other than that, both will behave in the same way. Where you call, they won't work. You go to second page, I call keep in the previous page. Now you call keep there. They won't work now. Next page, you did not call keep. Next page will delete out the value. Are you getting me or not? Okay. So that's what. Santosh, understood? Yeah. See now, TempData is also not type safe like view data. So here also we need to perform type conversion while working with the data. And the only difference between view data and TempData can maintain the state of value between multiple requests. Multiple requests. But view data cannot maintain that. Understood now? Morning I showed you that only clearly. View data is one request. TempData, multiple requests. But problem in TempData, see, you stored in one request here. You can access in second request. You did not access in second request. You can access in third request. You did not access fourth request. You did not access fifth request. You can access any request now. Once accessed, deleted. Are you clear? No, it should not be deleted. Then you should call peak or keep. Other than that, there's nothing different. Okay. Drawback of TempData. What's the drawback? If we access values from TempData, immediately all those values gets deleted and cannot be accessed in next request. To test this, add a hyperlink after the table in index4.cshtml file of test controller. Yeah, I add a hyperlink now. Click to launch, new page. When you click on this, it will launch you a new page now. Which page? Display one. So if we click on the hyperlink, it must call display one action method of test controller because, sorry, classes. So add a new action method in test controller class now. Then add a view. I given the view code for you. Same code only, guys, but without confusion, I given you the view code for you in all the places. Understood? Okay. So can it be accessible in display one? No. Is it accessible in display one? No. Why? Test one data deleted, so display one cannot access it. Execute. Which one? Home index 5. This will launch index 1 view of test controller, displays the values, and now click on the hyperlink which added to launch display 1 view of test controller, but display 1 view will not display the values because we accessed values in index one view, and immediately those values got deleted. So cannot be accessed in display one view again. Are you clear? And see the flow of control also. You started with home controller index 5. From there to test controller index 1. From there to test controller display 1. You are navigating between three requests these are. Because second request access the values, third request cannot access the values anymore now. Okay, now? Yeah. To overcome the above problem and access the values in next request, we need to use the peek method of TempData while accessing values so that the values will be persisting even after accessing them and can be accessed again. To do that, change the code of accessing data in index one view as following. Change this code here. Old values, new values. Is that clear? Now, in this case, if we transfer the data from display one view to other views, there also we must change the code. That's it now. Where you change it now? Just one. But no, sorry, index one, but not in. If you change in index one, that works for index one, not for display one now. If you want it in display one also, there also you need to change. Okay. Next. There's a peak, but considered in the next record. Whereas peak method is used for retaining specific values only. So without calling the peak method 3 times, we can simply call the keep method. And to try this, write the below code about the table tag in one page I called peak, in one page I called peak. Are you clear? In first page I called peak, in second page I called keep. How to call keep? Very simply here. There I don't record specific keys. Why? I'm referring to all. I'm referring to all. Okay, read the note. You want to preserve all the values? Keep. You want to preserve specific values? Keep. Hope you guys are clear with the TempData. Understood all of you? So 3 things we learn. Even though we learn 3 things, 1 and 2 are same only, na? Array 1 and 2 are same only, except type safety. Except type safety, 1 and 2 are same only. Second one, this one. Okay, what is that? TempData. That's what I said to you, yeah. You want to retain all values. We should call keep. You want to retain specific value, then we should call peak. 10 values are there. I want all 10 values in the next page. Call keep. No, I don't want all the 10 values. I want only 2 values. Then call peak on the 2. Then you can access those 2 on the other pages. Say, even though you store, you may not record all values in every page. I don't want all these values. I want only 1 or 2 values. There only I'll call and I will retain them. But you feel that you want everything, then you should call keep. Next, fourth option, cookie. What is this cookie? Listen, TempData, view back. All these will store you the data directly on the server. Where they will store the data? Server. Means you just use the TempData or view bag. Everything is storing on the server only. But when you talk about this cookie, the fourth one cookie, it's a piece of data that is stored on the browser, not on the server. It stores on the browser. The best example for a cookie is every day you will be using cookies in your applications. Anytime when you log in into any application, you might be finding a checkbox below, stay signed in. Yes or not? If you select the checkbox, stay signed in, next time when you try to log in the site, it won't ask you for the username and password. Yes or not? Today, that feature was directly enabled in the browser, where the browser is only asking when you click on the submit, the browser is asking, do you want me to store these values? If you say yes, it will store it. If I say no, it won't store. Earlier, what used to happen is we used to have the checkbox on the browser. We used to select the checkbox on the page. What stay signed in, then these values are saved so that don't ask you for username password again. Did you understand me or not? So what exactly is going to happen? I'm logging into Gmail. I entered my username, I entered my password, and at the bottom, I found a checkbox, stay signed in. I selected it. And click on the login. When you click on the login, it will go to server, validates the username, password. Username, password are valid now. When username and password are valid, you are signed in successfully now and you get the next page. When you get the response here, when you get the response comes, the next page, the response will come. Suppose it's a Gmail, your inbox will come now. When the response comes to the browser, at the time, the user ID and password also are sent to the browser and is saved on your machine now, and saved on your machine in the form of a cookie. That is saved in the form of a cookie. Okay, now you closed your browser, you are done. Tomorrow, you open your system again now. When you open your system now, and when you type www.gmail.com, what happens, already yesterday you created a cookie now, and you don't create manually. They're all done for you by the server automatically. So what will happen when you send a request to Gmail? The browser will pick the Gmail cookie now and sends to server, telling you this is the user ID and password. So server won't open the login page now. Without opening the login page, directly inbox opens to you. Did you understand me or not? What opens directly? The inbox will launch up for you now, and you can see your mails. You don't require to again go for user ID and password. So be careful. These type of options should be done only on personal computers. Don't use them on a public machine. Are you clear? And you don't find these type of options on banking websites or financial websites. You don't find that at all. Reason? In financial websites, stay signed in is a very bad idea. Understood my point here? Okay, that's what a cookie is. So what is a cookie? It's a small piece of data that is stored directly on the client's browser. Okay, now? Well, read that. That information can be read by the web application whenever user revisits the site. That's what I said. Tomorrow you are revisiting the site now. Now this cookie is read by the server now. Next. Every day you just try to visit a server, visit a web page now. The server will also send you one cookie to the browser. What is the cookie? The date and time cookie of the server. Next. What is that? Actually, cookies can be stored in two places. One, browser's memory. What is the scope of that cookie? The scope of the cookie is until the browser is closed. Once the browser is closed, your cookie is destroyed. And this cookie only is allowing you to navigate between the pages of a website. What is that, sir? I went into a banking website. I went to a banking website. I entered my user ID password. I entered my user ID password, and page came as a response. And remember, in the starting classes, I said you once the response comes to browser, immediately connection between the browser and the server is cut off. Yes or not? A login page opened here. You entered the username password. It went to server, validated, and got you the page now. Next page came. What is that? The page is showing you account details now. Now you want to do a funds transfer. You click on a funds transfer. Again, request goes to server. Correct? But you should be authenticated now. Already I'm authenticated, no sir, but there is no connection. Connection is cut off. When the connection is cut off, already you're authenticated also. How do I know that? Got my point? That is why the user ID password will be stored in the browser's memory as a cookie. The user ID password will be stored in the browser's memory as a cookie. Next time, when I go to a funds transfer page now, this cookie is going to server. The server will check, user ID password available? Yeah, means user is already authenticated. So when the user is already authenticated, what it will do? It will take you next page now. If it doesn't find the user ID password, what will ask you? Enter your user ID password again. It will take you to login page again now. It will take you to login page again. That is called as storing in the browser's memory. What is the scope of it? Until the browser is closed. Anytime you noticed it, a banking website, you did not use a sign out. You closed off the browser. Now you open the browser and try to hit the bank URL. It won't open you again. It will take you to login page. Why? I closed the browser in the middle. I did not click on sign out now. Why is it asking me login again? Because the cookie is destroyed. The cookie is destroyed. Once the browser closed, cookie is destroyed. Second time you send a request, no cookie available. So when you go to server, user ID password, are you sending it? No. So server will ask you, enter the user ID password again. Option number 2, it is stored on the hard disk of the browser. It is stored on the hard disk of the browser. What we call it as a persistent cookie. Two types of cookies here. In-memory cookie, persistent cookie. What is in-memory cookie? Stored in the browser's address bar. Stored in browser's address bar. Persistent cookie stored on the hard disk. Where is it stored? On the hard disk. What is the persistent cookie? That is only the stay signed in option. When you set the stay signed in option, at that time the cookie created is a persistent cookie. Gmail has that option of stay signed in. When you select that, what is created? Persistent cookie. Next time when you open the Gmail, it won't ask you for the user ID password now. See, on my computer, this is my computer, I just gone for a persistent cookie for my Gmail. That is why when I try to open gmail.com, without asking me the user ID password, it directly opening my inbox. See, it directly opened my inbox now. It did not ask me for user ID password. Why, sir? Because the cookie is present on the hard disk. The cookie is present on the hard disk. If the cookie is not present on the hard disk, then it has to ask me the user ID and password. Suppose I'm opening Facebook. I don't have a cookie stored here now. So that's why it is asking for me for entering the user ID and password. Okay, for Gmail, it's already saved there. So that's why it is not asking me for the user credential. The login credentials are not asked for you again. Hope you guys are clear what I'm telling you. Yes or not? So that's what exactly happens to you in this context now. So that's what. Are you clear with the two options? What is the first one? Browser's memory. We call them in-memory cookies. Second one, persistent cookie. Where is it stored? On the hard disk. Okay, now next. Browser will store you the cookies separately for each site. You visited Google, it will maintain Google cookies separately. You visit Facebook, Facebook cookies are separately maintained. You go to Amazon, Amazon cookies are separately maintained. Tomorrow, you visit Amazon, it will carry only Amazon cookies to the server. It won't carry Facebook and Google cookies. If it carries like this, everyone will start stealing the data. Yeah. When I hit Amazon, if Amazon can read the Google cookies now, it will get your user ID password. Got my point? You can't do that. What you can do? Only the cookies of that particular site only are accessible. Okay. Well, sir, how to create a cookie and store the data on the client's browser? How a cookie should be created and stored the data. Okay. The way you create a cookie is going to be, means you can create a cookie in two different ways here. You can create a cookie in two different ways. One, we have a class called as HTTP cookie. We have a class called as HTTP cookie. Create the instance of the class HTTP cookie. Cookie is equals to new HTTP cookie. And every cookie should be given with a name, a unique name now. I want to name it as login cookie. I want to name it as login cookie. Is it clear? Next. In this cookie, I want to store the values. How do you store? Just like you're storing data in temp data and view data only. Cookie of name is equals to cookie of password is equals to admin @1234 as something. Is how I can store my values now. Cookie is created with two values now. Like this, you can store multiple values in the cookie. Finally, you need to write the cookie to the browser. You need to write the cookie to the browser. Okay, given it as user, anything, no problem. This is user. Second one is password. Now you need to write the cookie to the browser. How do you write? Response dot cookies dot add. What is the name of the cookie? The cookie object. This is going to write the cookie to the browser. This is going to write the cookie to the browser. Remember, first time you log in into the site, the server will create a cookie and store this cookie on the browser now. Now, second request onward, this cookie is used so your login page is bypassed. Your login page is bypassed. Are you getting me or not? This is one way to create cookie. Another way of creating a cookie is you can create a cookie like this also. Response dot cookies dot cookies of name. Just a minute. Okay. Here we don't have two options, only one option here. In web forms, we have two options. Here, one option only. Yeah, this is how you create a cookie, guys. This is how you're going to create a cookie, a simple process. Then how to read these cookies now? I want to read back my cookie now. You want to read back your cookie? This is what you do in the response. And second time you want to read the cookie. How do you read? HTTP cookie is equals to request dot cookies of is how you're reading the cookie. See, this is writing the cookie. This is reading the cookie. Request dot cookies of which cookie? The name of the cookie. You're given a name now. What is the name? Sir, what is this? Array, this object of the class here. Not the key. That is an object. That's all. What is the name? Login. You got it now? And now you can access your values. String user is equals to cookie of user. String password is equals to cookie of password. Means in the second request, the server reads the cookie now. Are you clear? If this cookie is null, what is the meaning? You are not logged in here. If the cookie is null, the meaning is you did not log in. So we'll give you login page. We'll give you the login page. If it finds a cookie, what is the meaning? Already you have a cookie and it is going to use it. Understood? But now the doubt is, sir, this is persistent cookie or in-memory cookie? Did you understand the question? Is it a persistent cookie or is it an in-memory cookie? By default, every cookie is in memory. By default, every cookie is in memory. So in this process here, if the browser is closed and try to open the site again, it will ask you for user ID password again. You keep the browser open, navigate to all the pages. Any number of pages, it will work. But once browser closed, what happened? Cookie lost. Cookie lost. Second time, if you try to revisit the site, it will ask you for the login details. But if I create this as a persistent cookie, even after closing my browser, second time I revisit the site, also it works. But how to create a persistent cookie, sir? If you want to create a persistent cookie, you're required to set a property, guys. Expires property. You're required to set up this property. What is that? Expires property. And the value should be date and time. The value should be given in date and time. Expires is equals to required to give a date of expiration now. I want this cookie to store for 7 days from today. Means it expiry should be 18 plus 7, 25. Means you're required to give the date now. What date? The date when it has to expire. Are you clear? How do I give date time dot now? I already said you this. Remember, date time dot now refers to current date dot. I will give you a date after 7 days from today now. That is the date I'm assigning. Now it is a persistent cookie. Now it is a persistent cookie. Otherwise, default is in memory, and right now it is a persistent cookie now. So have a look. Yeah. This is how you write a cookie, and this is how you read a cookie. Just a minute. Yeah. To write a cookie on client machine, first we need to create the instance of HTTP cookie class, store values into it, treating it like a dictionary, and then write the cookie to client machine by using response object. Created an instance now. Array, just like a dictionary only, say cookie of user is equals to dictionary also will work like that only na. Cookie of password is equals to response.cookies.add. Next. Back on our web page. From a viewer, using a request object. That's how you read. What is it? HTTP cookie is equals to request.cookie. The response.cookies here, request.cookies of cookie name. From that, you can pick your values now. The two values. Next. Cookies are of two types. First one. Second one. Persistent. First one is in memory. Second one is persistent. Read. We're going to set with the date time value now. How did I set? Give a date. That's all. Give a date there. I'm giving a date. What is it? Add days of 7. You want 30 days? Add a month of 1. Or add days of 30. Choice is yours. We have add days, add months, add years. All methods are there. We can call them. I hope you guys are clear how to do it. Yes or not? So like this, we can set up the cookies also in this process. We can set up the cookies in this particular process basically. I hope you guys are clear, all of you. Yes or not? Okay, that's the way to create a cookie. Well, we will we can just create your cookies and start accessing the cookie values also. I'll show you. Less crowd here today. We'll stop here, guys. We'll meet tomorrow. First, practice all the previous things. Which one? You're done with view data? Yeah. Try with TempData. All the pages what I created. Okay. Tomorrow I'll show you working with cookies and sessions. Okay. Let's stop here.